Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're embarking on an epic journey through time to uncover the complete history of Japan. From ancient hunter-gatherers to the neon-lit streets of modern Tokyo, this island nation has a story that's as dramatic and fascinating as any samurai film. So, grab your popcorn, and let's dive into the land of the rising sun. Our story begins way back, over 30,000 years ago, during the Paleolithic period. Early inhabitants were hunter-gatherers, but the real game-changer was the Jomon period, starting around 10,000 BC. These people were incredible potters, creating some of the world's oldest pottery, distinguished by its intricate cord-marked patterns. They lived in settled communities, relying on a rich bounty from the forests and the sea. Then, around 300 BC, a new wave of people arrived, likely from the Korean peninsula, kicking off the Yayoi period. They brought with them revolutionary new technologies, wet rice cultivation and bronze and iron metallurgy. This agricultural revolution led to a population boom, larger settlements, and the beginnings of a more stratified society. Small states began to form, constantly jockeying for power. By the 3rd century AD, one powerful clan, the Yamato, began to assert its dominance, establishing what would become the Japanese imperial line. This is the Kofun period, named after the massive keyhole-shaped burial mounds, or kofun, built for the ruling elite. During this time, Japan began to absorb a flood of cultural influences from mainland Asia, including the Chinese writing system, Confucianism, and most importantly, Buddhism, which arrived in the 6th century. The introduction of Buddhism was a massive turning point, sparking the Asuka period. Prince Shitoku, a legendary regent, became a major patron of the religion, building grand temples like Horyaji, one of the oldest wooden buildings in the world. He also implemented Chinese-style government reforms, laying the groundwork for a centralized state. This centralization continued into the Nara period, which began in 710 with the establishment of Japan's first permanent capital at Haijokyo, modern-day Nara. The emperor's power was at its peak, and the court was a vibrant center of art and Buddhist scholarship. But the capital would soon move again. In 794, the court relocated to Heian-kyo, which we now know as Kyoto. This move marked the beginning of the Heian period, a golden age of Japanese culture that lasted nearly 400 years. While the emperor's political power gradually waned, the court aristocracy cultivated an incredibly refined and sophisticated culture. This is the era of the Tale of Genji, often called the world's first novel, an exquisite poetry, calligraphy, and fashion. However, outside the capital, a new power was rising, the warrior class, the samurai. As the central government weakened, powerful regional clans hired samurai to protect their lands and interests. Two clans, the Taira and the Minamoto, became so powerful that they eventually clashed for control of the entire country in the Genpei War. The Minamoto emerged victorious, and in 1192, their leader, Minamoto no Yoritomo, was granted the title of shogun. He established a new military government in Kamakura, marking the start of the Kamakura period and nearly 700 years of feudal rule. For the first time, Japan was ruled not by the emperor in Kyoto, but by a shogun and his samurai government. This period was defined by the samurai code of Bushido, emphasizing loyalty, honor, and martial skill. However, the Kamakura shogunate faced a massive external threat, two Mongol invasions. In 1274 and 1281. Both times, the Japanese were saved by massive typhoons, which they called kamikaze or divine winds. While they repelled the invaders, the cost of defense bankrupted the shogunate, leading to its downfall. What followed was the turbulent Muromachi period. A new shogunate was established in Kyoto by the Ashikaga clan, but their control was weak. The country fractured into a state of near-constant civil war known as the Sengoku period or the Warring States period. Ambitious regional lords, known as daimyo, fought brutally for supremacy. It was a time of chaos, but also of great social change and cultural flourishing, including the development of Zen gardens, tea ceremonies, and no theater. From this chaos, three extraordinary figures emerged to reunify Japan. The first was Oda Nobunaga, a brilliant and ruthless daimyo who used European firearms to conquer nearly a third of the country. After his assassination, his top general, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, a man of humble peasant origins, completed the unification. When Hideyoshi died, his former ally, Tokugawa Ieyasu, seized power after the decisive Battle of Sekigahara in 1600. Ieyasu established the Tokugawa shogunate, which would rule Japan for over 250 years from its new capital in Edo, modern-day Tokyo. This marked the beginning of the Edo period, a long era of peace and stability. To maintain control, the shogunate implemented a strict policy of sakoku, or national seclusion, cutting off almost all contact with the outside world. While isolated, Japan's domestic culture thrived. The population grew, cities like Edo and Osaka boomed, and a vibrant merchant class emerged. This was the age of kabuki theater, woodblock prints known as ukiyo-e, and haiku poetry. It was a peaceful, highly structured society, but this long isolation couldn't last forever. In 1853, everything changed. American Commodore Matthew Perry sailed into Edo Bay with his black ships, powerful steam-powered warships, and demanded that Japan open its ports to trade. The shogunate, realizing it couldn't compete with Western military technology, reluctantly agreed. This event sent shockwaves through Japan, sparking a crisis that would bring down the feudal system. Many samurai, furious at the shogunate's perceived weakness, rallied around the emperor. This led to the Meiji Restoration in 1868. The last shogun was overthrown, and Emperor Meiji was restored to power. This wasn't just a change in leadership, it was a full-blown revolution. Japan embarked on a breathtakingly rapid program of modernization and industrialization, summed up by the slogan, "Rich Country, Strong Army." They adopted Western technology, government, education, and fashion, transforming from a feudal society into a modern industrial power in just a few decades. This newfound strength led Japan to build its own empire. It defeated China in 1895 and, in a stunning victory, Russia in 1905, becoming the first Asian power to defeat a European one in modern times. In the early 20th century, Japan's ambitions grew. It annexed Korea and expanded its influence in Manchuria. During the 1930s, military leaders gained increasing control over the government, pushing an aggressive, expansionist agenda. This culminated in Japan's entry into World War II, allied with Germany and Italy. The war began for Japan with its invasion of China in 1937 and expanded with the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. After years of brutal conflict across the Pacific, the war ended in 1945 with the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki and Japan's subsequent surrender. The aftermath was devastating. Japan was in ruins, its empire gone. Under American occupation, the country underwent another massive transformation. It was demilitarized, a new democratic constitution was written, and the emperor's status was changed to a purely symbolic one. But what happened next was nothing short of miraculous. With a focus on technology and manufacturing, Japan experienced an incredible post-war economic boom. By the 1960s, it was a global economic powerhouse, famous for its cars, electronics, and high-quality products. Companies like Sony, Toyota, and Honda became household names around the world. Today, Japan is a unique blend of ancient tradition and futuristic technology. You can visit a 1,000-year-old temple in the morning and ride a bullet train in the afternoon. It's a global leader in robotics, a pop culture giant with anime and manga, and a nation grappling with modern challenges like an aging population. From the pottery of the Jomon to the skyscrapers of Tokyo, Japan's history is a relentless story of isolation and adaptation, of conflict and creativity. It's a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of its people. Thanks so much for watching this journey through Japanese history. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shaped our world. See you in the next one.